as a Lithuanian, I want to get to my community and I want to have some questions answered.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Let's do it.
In regards to the racism.
Yeah. Yes. I'll try to go fast.
Just
with it.
super simple, dumb, stupid questions.
Yeah, it's fine.
I've heard that some people say that I can't even say that you're a black. I have to say you're African American.
Yeah.
Is that stupid?
Yeah, it's very stupid. It was stupid. It was actually those people now are behind the times because, and I did the show with Bryce. We did this about it when Stanford came out with new words. And one of the new words was, you can't say African American anymore. You go back to black. So you can tell them, no, they're wrong. It's idiocracy. It's word policing, but it's ultimately like mental censorship. So whatever, man. You tell those people, when those people are saying that, and look, it's always, as we said in Romans 22, professing to be wise, they became fools. That's what we're seeing here. Just remember, the more they're trying to like add on top of how we interact with each other or just regular people, the more foolishness it is. And yeah, it's crap. It's more fake stuff.
But just like you're not black, just like I'm not white.
Yeah, so you're fine. Don't worry about it.
What's the problem with the N-word? Why can you say, and why can you sing about it, but no one other can't?
Because it's a racial landmine. I actually did a video about this where I talked about the N-word, nigga, all that stuff. And
on
it's
Instagram?
Yeah, I think Instagram took it down because it was here's
it was offensive.
Yeah, it was Instagram,
no.
Instagram, TikTok, and it was like the last thing I ever posted on TikTok, and YouTube all removed it because it says it promoted hateful language. Yeah, but it's really interesting because all the rap videos are still up saying it. Yeah, no, the point is because I was actually talking about what the trap that it is. It's a racial landmine, and it's set up so that it can always trigger a emotional person, black, white, or whatever. It's a setup to trigger an emotional person, a low intellectually emotional person, and that's why they keep that like gate up on it, right? Like I'll hear people, well, why does he want to say it? I'm like, because it's a word. They have freedom to say whatever they want, man. The intention is what happens.
Yeah.
But they don't care about that
whether
because
it's an insult or not.
Yeah, but it doesn't care because they need you to. It needs to be a racial landmine. That's like they need to be able to take words away. That's the key. That's subjugation. That's the enemy. If we can have words we can take away, like fag, remember that, gay, they took that away. All these different words, they start to take away certain things. Well, don't say America, right? That's offensive to some people in certain classrooms.
Excuse me?
Yeah, there's certain classrooms where like, oh, well, he said America is like, or they say they took God out of, in certain classrooms here in California in elementary schools, they took God out of the Pledge of Allegiance. One nation under God. They took that out. So it's like they have to start removing words to some people, but
to who?
To the
Satanists?
to the godless, yeah. So I say again, they it's all truly about subjugation, and they want to subjugate your word speech. They use it as a racial landmine, so it's always there as like an open wound.
Yeah, that's a weapon.
That's exactly.
If I know that if I'm saying this word to you, you're gonna like take off right away. That's a weapon.
I mean, that's the idea. I've learned a long time ago not to even mess with that. That word doesn't do anything to me anymore. Because I saw what it was.
But it means this word means basically a slave 200 years ago?
No. It was a derogatory term for a black person who's a slave. It doesn't mean slave. I know. It's so confusing, isn't it? Again, it was all because these intellectual professors at these liberal colleges decided to go, this is how we'll work it out. But it doesn't even mean it. It was a derogatory term for it. Look, we can look it up.
But Leo DiCaprio can say it in a movie.
In a movie, yeah.
In a song, you can say it.
He can say it or you can say it in a song. If you're a certain melanin, you can do. Leo can say it in a movie, but you just being like, man, I heard in this song they said the word nigger. Yeah. What's going on? They'd be like, you're done. You're canceled. Racism because historically, Again, it's a weapon, like you said. Like it is a weapon. And let me see here. So the definition of it, Merriam-Webster's, to insult, a contemptuous term for black person. I use insult, but there's a real meaning. No. A nigger was like. It was a point of, means like ignorant. They're using it as, they're only saying towards black people, but like there's a specific term. Yeah, nigger as defined in the dictionary was an ignorant person. That's really all it is. Nigger just means an ignorant person.
So
Right.
they rewrite the history and they rewrite the vocabulary.
So think about this. They go, you can't say it, but I can.
Mm-hmm.
If it means an ignorant person, and I'm like, yo, that's my nigga. That's my ignorant person. Yo, what's up, ignorant person? How you doing, ignorant person? Oh, that's my ignorant person.
And actually, it's your best friend.
You can't say I'm an ignorant person, but I can say I'm an ignorant person. My friend's my ignorant person. And I maybe even call you, nigga, chill out. Oh, ignorant person, chill out. Like, I was really starting to think about that. Ignorant person. What's up, ignorant person? Hey, ignorant person. Nah, my ignorant person, yeah. Like, that's really what they're saying.
Bro,
that's wild.
Explain me. I have never understood this. This rap music and the lyrics.
Yeah.
Why do people listen, especially the blacks, love the rap music when they rap about the bitches, the mothers, motherfuckers, all the stuff, money, drugs. Yeah. Why do you like it?
I don't like it.
Why do?
But it's well, first off, it's what is pushed on by mainstream. So when they look up, that's like the only thing that it gets served to them, right? And then the other side of that is like the black community, just like everyone else, but they were like I said before, they were the beta test group to do everything, to implement the welfare state, to remove fathers from the home, but also the high level of deviancy, right? Sexual deviancy. They need the criminality. So in the mid to late 80s, when like hip hop came along, you had groups like the Sugar Hill Gang, right? And they were like the hip, the hop, the hibbity, the hip, all that fun stuff. And towards the end of the late 80s, early 90s,
and that was cool, not gay.
That was cool. It was fun.
Okay.
But it wasn't gay. Is it gay now?
Allegedly, that was a joke.
Everything's alleged, guys. But then the late 80s, early 90s, that's when you see NWA come out. That's when you see they start to focus on gangster rap more. Then they platform gangster rap. Look at a person like Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg. Then they get platformed on. Just like I've started this whole conversation with, and how some of these purity testers are about Amber Rose, and I'm like, we need to start farming our own people to show them like this is what's cool. They farmed and they said this is what's cool to society. But number one buyers of hip hop and rap over the last 20 years are white boys over in the suburbs, or white people and the kids in the suburbs. So they were also putting that out there to tell white people that's what black people are. They're that. They did it at a mass scale. They're that, telling black people, hey, this is your story, right? This is just story. How did they describe it? This is just stories from the streets. Yeah. In Compton, not in Evanston, Illinois, where I grew up with a kid that had mom and dad, had a younger sister, white picket fence. Dad worked over at the college there, and he's walking around like, yeah, as a black man, it's hard every day. I'm like, why are you talking like that, bro? Like, we went to the same school. I had a single mom. I don't act like you, bro. He held on and grabbed on to that gangster life culture because they show him that's what black people are. Remember when Joe said, we joked about it, you ain't black? Because once they shifted from Negro to black, they can start to tell you what black is. They were marketing black to people, so that's why they started shifting that. Because Negroes wore their clothes properly. Negroes had families. Negroes own their own businesses. Blacks don't. So that's the difference. That's why they have to do it like that. It's all a word game. They got to keep people's mind in degeneracy. And you look up, and I said this to my mom yesterday. I mean, look up, you have 3 to 5% of the population. The male population is doing 50% of the murders
amongst each other.
Mostly amongst each other, and it's like, think about that, bro.
You can't even show this, right?
Yeah, I actually posted that, and people, I think I got initially they tried to demonetize, or they tried to take it down, and I like appealed and like, oh, my bad, and then people
these are stats.
Yeah, but don't believe your lying eyes, as they say. It's but it's a death cult, remember? It's a death cult. That's why anytime I say, look, we're killing ourselves at 80% clip, a black person's like, no, you're the problem. I go, no, the problem is we kill ourselves in the womb and then we kill ourselves on the street. Our population has been stagnant since the late 60s. Well, it's because I raised it. Okay, all right, man. Like, at this point, all you can do is just say it and move on. Because how do you control a populace? Make sure it's small. First thing you can do when you're taking over a people, how do you control them? Make sure the populace is small. Second thing is you demoralize the males so they can't fight back. Look at black communities led by women and gay guys. Roland Martin wearing "Vote Like a Black Woman." I'm like, to kill my babies, to kill my babies more. So you have 4 to 5% doing 50% of the murders. Then you have the other 6%. Then you have 6% doing about 45 of the abortions. 6% of the population of 350 million people are doing 45% of killing babies, dude. And then others like. So before we even say it's a white man, how about we just stop that shit over here and stop that shit over here and let's see what happens. See what happens if we let the kids grow up and be a part of this stuff. That's something that from till I die is just gonna break my heart because they didn't have to die. The about 24 to 25 million black babies that have been killed, they didn't have to die.
In the last century?
In the last 70 years. Since Roe v. Wade was passed. They didn't have to die.
On the other side, you've got these amazing black churches. Why are they so different?
Because they consider themselves black churches?
I mean...
That's the problem.
What I mean by black church is you got this singing, worshiping God.
Style. No, what I'm telling you is the problem is because they consider themselves a black church. Show me the Bible where it says black church, white church,
I'm saying this in a good way.
I'm telling you, it's because of that. Even though it's fun and all that,
yes,
that's the problem. They're focused on that portion of it to be the black church.
I got you.
As opposed to focus on the scripture. Like we're supposed to die to ourselves, like die to the flesh. Yet it's a black church, which is nothing but flesh. So they have part of it, but they're sometimes so caught up in making sure to get up, and look at us. We're a black church and this music's good here. Okay, well, are we talking about any substance? Because then what's the point? Black men have been leaving that church community more than any others. Most of those churches are filled with women. There's a reason, because they're a black church. And what is black? The thing that they were selling people. So if you don't fit this thing, then you're not really black, remember?
I never thought of this.
I know. That's what sucks when you start to look. Black is a marketing term. So they have to fit a certain thing in there. They have Fannie Willis going up there in the awful pulpit, brother, in Atlanta being like, as a black woman, the tag as a black woman is a black woman. Okay, let's stop. If they were teaching scripture, it's like, shut up and sit down. You were an adulteress.
Yes.
Right off the bat. But no, they give her a podium to scream about black women stuff. Or to say, or supposedly black women stuff. Because they're a black church. They're not just a church. That's the problem. They got caught up in the black cell thing that the Democrats sold them. And they go, we got to keep up with the blackness. And that's how we keep getting our money.
But I'm allowed to attend this kind of church.
You can go anywhere.
There are churches like this in LA?
I don't know, probably. I don't. I look for scriptural churches. I don't look for a church based on skin color. It's literally outside the Bible. It's literally what we're supposed to fight against, die to the flesh. But I'm going to look for only a black church? Like, why don't you look? People should look for a scripturally strong church. That's why it's a problem. That's why the black community has faltered, because they've started paying a lot of these pastors, allegedly. They started paying a lot of these pastors in there to start having them push from the pulpit the democratic way of seeing the world. Why a lot of black folks, think about it. These women are ones killing their babies in their womb. Jesus is very clear about the little ones making them stumble. The Bible's very clear about, I knew you in the womb, I knew you before I knitted you in the womb for. And yet they're going to church saying they're godly, responsible for over 1/3 of, sorry, that's too much. It's over 1/3, 45% of abortions. And then going to church and saying they're godly.
What's the critical race theory?
It's just, there's a more, I guess, scientific definition. To me, is just some more landmines for white people to stumble over and to give anyone who's quote unquote an ally or with high melanin righteous indignation.
So it basically says that we were all
you're bad, I'm good, and it's because your people, hate black people and like slaves, and we're going to teach that throughout the school. And so they're basically teaching that racism. They're teaching segregation again back in our schools. And they call it, like the left always likes to do, to put a nice little moniker. Oh, they see, CRT, critical race theory. It's like, it's all flesh stuff.
So if you want to defeat the racism, you just stop talking about it at
Stop
all?
talking about it. I would say if you truly want to defeat racism, you teach people about Christ.
It's almost the same thing. If you want gays to have all the rights, stop talking about it.
Stop talking about it.
Don't stop talking that they're normal people, because they are. That's it.
Yeah.
But then they got these parades. They will never be accepted as normal people after the things that they did in San Francisco, doing blowjobs to one another and urinating on one another.
Well, allowing that to be out there. That's the thing. The city allows it to be out there. Decency is all that is what people should strive for. Just decency.
Yes.
When you have decency, if you're a gay man, you want to
You've
live
got friends gays.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Do they go to those parades?
Not anymore. Not as much as I know anymore, because that's kind of like was a young 20, early 30-year-old thing. But
and they changed in the last 5 years. The parades changed a lot.
They got more and more sexual, but it's sexual deviancy, just the nature of it. The nature of it. I said this to a guy online, and we're going back and forth a little bit, nice way, DM, a gay guy, and I'm like, let me ask you a question, because he pointed out, he was like, he's a white guy, right? He's like, da-da-da-da as a minority. I go, he goes, first of all, I don't believe a white man in America is a minority just because of who you sleep with. Question is, why is like, don't you find it kind of weird that who you are is only linked with who you decide to have sex with, not what you do? Like, why aren't we thinking in that vein? It's like the only thing. Okay, so you're a lesbian. That means that's your character is lesbian. Like, what is that? Because there's one side, you go, oh, we're about love, this and that. I'm like, well, lesbians also have more domestic violence than straight couples. So, are you
allegedly?
No, statistically, according to the CDC, statistically, not allegedly. You can go look this one up.
Literally.
So I ask, it's like, we got into a place where the not summer love, but the season of love free love that they had in the 70s. That was the beginning of moving away from what you do defines who you are. Now it's it's like how you feel is who you are. So I feel like a gay man, that means now I'm this, and then literally a white guy in America, where they're predominantly 60% of the population are white, goes, I'm a minority because of where you stick your penis. What? Doesn't change your skin color, man. What are you talking about? Oh, well, and it's like, of course, that was 2 days ago. I haven't heard a word from him since. Because, when you get to real logical questions, you don't want to get there.
So, Siaka, every time I see a true liberal, they're almost every time white. How so? You're kind of immune?
No, a true liberal? I don't know. I mean, I think part of it is it's the amount of white people just in this country that you would see. I mean, you could go and see a true liberal that's black, and if you go down, if you lived in,
but the ones that scream on the street,
those, yeah,
always
those are
not
leftists.
Hispanics.
Those are leftists. That's a little bit of a difference. Like liberal leads to leftism,
okay,
but leftism leads to destroying cities. Right? That's like when it gets that far down the line, where it's like there's liberalism and then there's leftism. Leftism and socialism / fascism are very close together, right? So leftism is a little different. It's like liberalism is like where Kennedy was. He was a classical liberal, but
that was 60 years ago.
I know.
They changed.
That's why. But that's why I'm saying, like, we got to get
Democrat.
back. Yeah, he was a Democrat. He was shot and killed. He was the only Democrat president that was attacked. It was probably like
6 total, 7 total.
There's 7 or 8 total.
And
there's
only
like
only
one Democrat who was taken out because he was actually going after the whole corrupt system that he talked about. There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 total, because Gerald Ford was attacked twice and they didn't get him. But you have Lincoln, Garfield, McKinley, Republicans. Then you had JFK, Democrat.
Yes.
Then you had Theodore Roosevelt. These are people who were just wounded, didn't die. Theodore Roosevelt, Ronald Reagan, Donald Trump. And I don't know why I didn't put Gerald Ford on there too, but he was on there too. They tried to get him. So you had it's only one side it's a side. It's so funny too, right? It's a side that claimed they're the side of love that seems to be the only ones that have shot and killed liberal or presidents.
What are your thoughts on MLK? He's a hero to a lot of people.
To a lot of people. I think when you look into him, I know when I started to research and people started sending me stuff, and I think I sent you some of the this one guy, Chad Jackson. I think that he's been a part of what's called what we like to call now the civil rights operation. I think there possibly could have been decent intentions, but if you look back at his work with the Push Coalition, Coalition Push, I think it is. Don't quote me on that. I gotta find that for sure. But I know the people he was working with were a lot of them were devout communists, and so, you know, through his own words, Christ is not God.
He said that.
Yeah, it's in a paper he wrote, and so.
But wasn't he a pastor?
Yeah. There's a lot of pastors that don't believe, you know, Seventh-day Adventists don't believe Christ is God. So it's like there's a lot of groups that claim Christianity, but they don't believe the divinity of Christ. He had a very
promiscuous life, right?
Yeah, there's audios the FBI recorded of him and some of the people he was with, unfortunately, SAing some parishioners and laughing about it. I think the direction that they were taking us down, that did take us down, had the black community or Negro community, however you want to call it, sacrifice their morals for partnering up with the radical left, because that's what they did. Mm-hmm. And so I think he bears responsibility for that. But I think they took him out so that then they can reframe. So if you take him out, he can never repent and reverse course, because if he repents and reverse course, it wakes the whole masses up, because he's the leader, right? Mm-hmm. If he goes one day 20 years in, he goes, oh, what's going on, guys? Like, this ain't cool. Or you take him out, establish a different leader, Jesse Jackson or Al Sharpton, they're always going to be sending the message.